We live in interesting times. Today's stories. The Church of Christ donates to Safe Harbor Homeless Shelter in Red Deer, Canada. The sound of silence. Federal workers at the Honolulu International Airport march against the government shutdown. The longest government shutdown in U.S. history takes its toll. Some possible effects of the U.S. government shutdown on Canadian farmers. Plus, families welcome 2019 at the Tournament of Roses Parade. We will explore Tampa's new foodie hangout. And for Manny Pacquiao, 40 is the new 20, as he defended his welterweight title against Adrian Broner. Hello everyone, I'm Alan Basoyahe bringing you stories from around the globe. And this is Eagle News Washington, D.C. Weekend Edition. Helping fight poverty in Canada, the Iglesia ni Cristo reaches out to a homeless shelter in Red Deer. Eagle News correspondent Tiffany Alisasis has the details.
Today we are here in Red Deer, Canada. Members of the Church of Christ donate relief boxes for the Safe Harbor Homeless Shelter.
Micaela Pedirnos, a member of the church, explains her experience and the impacts felt in today's outreach.
I feel very happy that we were able to be a part of an event such as this. It's really good to see everybody being united and coming together to help people who are in need. I think this is a very beneficial event for the community, especially Red Deer, because they are able to see the Church of Christ and our events that we take a part in and how united we are as a congregation and as a district.
Safe Harbor also provides affordable housing to people transitioning away from homelessness. Joyce Venturina shares why the Church of Christ has events like this.
Well, it's part of the commandment of God. We were told to also help other people, not just the people in the church. So as members in the Church of Christ, it is important for us to follow this duty as well.
Dale Vargas, a minister of the church, tells how they prepared for this event.
Well, we had our devotional prayers, and also through our group overseers, we were able to visit all the brethren, and all the families were able to give donation goods. Well, we believe that this is the second greatest commandment, to help our neighbors and to love them. And we're not just feeding them with the words of the Lord God, but also food for their physical bodies.
Church members from Red Deer, Rocky Mountain House, and Panoka worked together to collect food and clothing donations for the Safe Harbor Society.
Despite the cold weather, it doesn't stop the members of the Church of Christ from doing good for their community. Reporting from Red Deer, Canada, I am Tiffany Alisasis, and I'm 1 with 25.
Thank you, Tiffany. When we come back, the sound of silence. Federal workers at the Honolulu International Airport march against the government shutdown. The longest government shutdown in U.S. history takes its toll. Some possible effects of the U.S. government shutdown on Canadian farmers. Eagle News Washington, D.C. Weekend Edition. We'll be right back. Welcome back. You are watching Eagle News Washington, D.C. Weekend Edition. The sound of silence. Federal workers at the Honolulu International Airport may have marched in silence a few days ago, but they definitely made their protests against the ongoing government shutdown heard. Alfred Acenas reports.
Important because we've got to get our workers back. We've got to get federal workers back to work. No employee shall be asked to come to work and not get paid. No employee shall be furloughed because of lapse in government funding. It's about opening up the government and telling Congress and our president to act and put Americans back to work.
The federal government is going into almost a full month of a government shutdown, the longest in the nation's history. And I'm here at Honolulu's Daniel K. Inouye International Airport, where laid off or furloughed employees, union representatives, and even supporters from other agencies and entities are gathered here to conduct a silent march that will start here on one end of the airport and marching all the way to the other side of the terminal.
All the way through the end at United.
So we're inside the Hawaiian Airlines terminal at this time. The march has just begun, and then I believe we are to exit the facility here in a few seconds. The purpose of this route, according to what I've gathered, is to make themselves known to the tourism industry that even in this time of year in January, it's still relatively busy with the tourists still crowding Hawaiian Airlines and other airline facilities.
Julie, a post office worker as well as a postal union representative, shares the pain of her fellow employees.
But I do believe as a federal worker, when one is injured, one of our brothers or sisters is injured, it has a domino effect to everyone. As the saying goes, injured to one is injured to all.
Okay.
So it causes a domino effect where it starts affecting our economy and even people's personal lives.
I see.
I will do my best. We have supported other locals here. Our union did, and I my own self have supported other locals out of my own personal finances.
Okay.
Because I know what it's like not to have and to do the struggles.
Members of the Department of Defense, or DoD, which makes up roughly 75% of the federal workforce and the second largest industry in Hawaii, are not affected by the shutdown. Yet still, DoD civilian employees like Jamie took her time to help those who are.
So we're just here to help rally for the TSA workers that are being affected today. For us, I represent federal workers in different areas of the Navy, Pearl Harbor Naval Shipyard and stuff like that. They're not affected. So the DoD was covered, in this last bill. So we feel for them. It could have been us, like all of our workers as well. Every year, yes, we go through this every year.
So we just came from the drop-off area of the departure level of Honolulu's airport, and we are now inside the check-in terminals of the what appears to be the international airlines, international carriers. At this time, you're looking at the line for the airport security to be provided by the Transportation Security Administration, or TSA. And yes, the TSA is affected with the shutdown. However, one of the exceptions is that a lot of its employees are still tasked to provide services, namely the security for the building here, as well as for the flights that are departing and arriving. So that is a big challenge, a big dilemma for some of these employees that are not receiving paychecks. And it's still a very busy day here at Honolulu's International Airport.
As the marchers finally arrived at their destination and made their statements known to the public, some of them had personal messages for President Trump and leaders in Congress.
I said, Donald Trump, grow up. You need to start doing your job and do what you were elected for, and that is to provide for the American public, for the United States. That's what he's there for.
This is just, not fair to the federal workers that are being affected, and it's all because of dysfunction in Washington, D.C. It's not their fault.
Stop using people, man. Stop taking people hostage, for personal gains. it's hurting people. It's really hurting people. 800,000 workers out there. It's just sad. It's sad to see humans taking advantage of humans that are just trying to make things work.
Reporting from Honolulu, Hawaii, I'm Alfred Asenas, 1 with 25.
Mahalo, Alfred. On this note, Eagle News reached out to individuals across the nation who, one way or another, are affected by the longest government shutdown in U.S. history. Now entering its 6th week, the partial government shutdown is taking its toll on the day-to-day lives of individuals, families, and communities. Eliza Gonzalez-Manglatmot reports.
With some 800,000 federal employees going without pay for more than a month now, some have it a little better than others. Their spouse or other family members still have their sources of income. This, though, doesn't mean they aren't being frugal on their spending.
We are a dual income family, and my wife is currently working. But because I have not received a paycheck for the last couple times, we needed to tap into our reserve funds. We have to be a little bit more conservative when we purchase things. It's stuff that we truly need, and not stuff that we want. So hoping that the situation that we're in will be resolved soon, and then I'll go on and go back to work, finally get paid, and then continue to provide for my family.
I've been working for the government for about 17 years now. I have gone through numerous government shutdowns before. However, as this shutdown has been the longest in history, the impact is very much felt by myself, my family, and I'm sure by many government employees. My household had been fortunate as my wife is still working. One thing about the shutdown that we as a family have to go through is to be mindful of our expenses. Pretty much just like saving for the rainy days, so to speak. We need to make sure that we don't spend our savings on unnecessary expenses and be frugal when it comes to our spending decisions. I hope that this government shutdown ends soon, very soon.
The furloughed federal employees are without a doubt the victims of this shutdown. But affected as well are the spouses and children who are not only feeling the economic pinch, but also the emotional stress brought about by the crisis.
My mom is actually a federal worker, currently furloughed, and it's been pretty difficult with me and my family to provide rent and all that for the house that we're in right now. Just last week, my mom kind of sent me a text, and she told me, please try to save as much as you can. We don't know how long this shutdown will be. And, it's just us two at home. And, we have to make sure we can make ends meet. We can pay rent and all that. Yeah, we just have to make sure we can survive this. Yeah, it's been pretty hard,
It really hits home because my husband was furloughed and he doesn't have a job. So we are missing one paycheck in the household, and it's really affecting us. It affects everything that we need to spend money on, things that we need for our family, the necessities, paying our bills.
The shutdown is affecting the nation, and people across the country are expressing frustration over it.
It's kind of unfair. They're not getting paid, so a lot of them will lose maybe their homes. They'll be out on the streets. Because I know for me, myself, if I were to be affected by the government shutdown, my family and I will be out on the streets definitely. And it's unfair because it's not only the workers, it's also the children that are suffering from the government shutdown.
Very concerning. I mean, that's a lot of people first, but more importantly, the fact that these are the people that we're currently relying on because it's the government, so our infrastructure, our rules, regulations, all that, the fact that that's being placed as a halt just to, prove a point as a bargaining chip, very distasteful, but nevertheless, I hope that this gets resolved as soon as possible so that they could go back to work, feed their families.
This government shutdown is sad and unfortunate to the thousands of people involved. This is a bullying tactic by President Trump at best. His funding plans have altered during his presidency from being fully funded by Mexico, then being indirectly funded by Mexico, and now he's demanding more funding from the government and is backed into a corner. It shows that he's willing to sacrifice the livelihood and well-being of thousands of American families to get what he wants. People are without paychecks but still have bills to pay. I think the shutdown will have long-lasting effects even after it's over. This is unfair and hurtful to the American people.
How I feel? I feel shame on the president for punish the innocent. They have nothing to do with this shutdown. He's the one that decided the shutdown. He's the one who should reopen and let the people go back to work so they can do their job and get paid and support the family.
But I sympathize with everybody, because it's not fair to them. They've sacrificed a lot for the government, and the government just turning their back on them and not caring anything about them. It's not fair. It's not America. Simple.
It is not in the best interest of the United States as a whole, and I think that those that are empowered should consider that instead of catering to the whims of the individual that seems to be calling the shots. Look at the overall effect that is having on the country and make a decision that's going to better the country. I understand that, it's being used as a tool to force them to release the money necessary to build a wall that they believe will protect individuals that live here in the U.S., but at the same time, you're hurting individuals now, so it doesn't make sense. I know they said there's a lot of criminal element coming in, but there's way more criminal element being born here in the States that I think that will ever sneak into the United States. So in that regard, I don't feel that it's justified to make so many suffer just because of something that, honestly, I don't think is going to have a very large effect on us at all anyway.
We feel for them. It could have been us, like all of our workers as well. But this is just, not fair to the federal workers that are being affected, and it's all because of dysfunction in Washington, D.C.
It makes me wonder how one person can take over and do all this. Is Trump, is he really hurting any? Or is it more of a prideful thing that he really wants? How long is it going to take before he lets his pride down and actually realizes why he took presidency, and that's to take care of the people?
Reporting from Washington, D.C., I am Eliza Gonzalez Manglikmot, 1 with 25.
Even in neighboring countries, effects of the U.S. government shutdown may be felt. Eagle News correspondent Thomas Likeness shares how this crisis could affect Canadian farmers. Thomas.
Canadian farmers are feeling the effects of the U.S. government shutdown. This time of year, while farm fields like this in Western Canada are covered in snow, farmers are inside studying market trends and agricultural forecasts from other parts of the world, especially the United States. But that information is hard to come by these days. The main source of that data is the United States Department of Agriculture. Because of the shutdown, the department has delayed releasing reports that farmers rely on for crop planning. This is the time of year when farmers start making decisions on what they're going to plant and what seeds and other crop inputs they need to buy. Marketing reports tell farmers what world demand is for various crops and where countries such as China plan to buy from. For example, if China were to commit to buying mainly American soybeans, Canadian farmers would probably opt for an alternative crop such as corn instead. If the shutdown drags on for much longer, Canadian farmers will have a tough time making informed decisions. Thomas I. Likeness, Eagle News, I'm 1 with 25.
Thanks, Thomas. When we come back, families welcome 2019 at the Tournament of Roses Parade. Plus, we will explore Tampa's new foodie hangout. And for Manny Pacquiao, 40 is the new 20 as he defended his welterweight title against Adrian Broner. Eagle News Washington, D.C. Weekend Edition will return shortly. This is Eagle News Washington, D.C. Weekend Edition. I'm Alan Basoyahe. January is almost over, but most of us still want to hold on to the feeling New Year's celebrations bring, and so we will. We'll take you back to when we welcomed 2019 very simply in the company of floats, equestrians, and the Royal Court. It's 7 a.m. on New Year's Day, and already Colorado Boulevard is full of parade goers like the Cronquist family. Yay! Inspiring. In Pasadena, California, families like the Cronquists join an expected attendance of 700,000 people for the Tournament of Roses parade presented by Honda. You could have chosen to just stay at home, nice and warm in your PJs. Instead, you decided to tough it out.
This was a bucket list for me. I've been watching this parade for over 50 years, from my mom all the way down. And so to be here live and in person, it's just a dream come true for me.
And what about you, sir?
I think we're just crazy. It's a great experience. We had to do it at least once.
It doesn't matter how big your TV is or how HD it is. There's nothing that is like seeing it all live.
Are you local? Are you out of state? Are you out of your minds for being here at 40-degree weather?
We're from Defiance, Ohio. It's colder in Ohio.
What made you decide to tough it out and be a part of this unique experience?
It's on my bucket list. I'm working my bucket list.
This is awesome. I mean, the bucket list thing for us, and you sit and watch it on the couch for like 25 years, and you finally get a chance to get out of here. It's just a great experience.
How do you like your stay so far?
Great. It's been just a beautiful area, tons of things to do.
We're huge Ohio State fans, so we're here to watch the marching band come through. It's going to give us chills because like my husband said, we watched it on TV, and now we're going to see it live.
The parade is divided into three main parts: marching bands, the equestrian units, and of course, the floats. Painstaking efforts are made to cover float surfaces with natural materials like flowers, seaweed, and nutshells.
They'll use things like onion seed, orange lentil, purple statice, poppy seeds, just to create whatever effect that they're looking to create.
There's a lot of hard work involved with what they're doing, but are they still having fun?
This is not our real job. We do this for fun, and there's a lot of camaraderie, a lot of interest in just spending time for a common goal.
This float is representing Universal Studios, and they are promoting their movie, How to Train Your Dragon 3. The float is 73 feet long, and it'll be about 35 feet high. Gorgutter, our dragon in the back, he will actually be breathing real fire. So we're real excited about that. He's going to look amazing.
The float behind me is the entry for China Airlines called Rhythms in Taiwan. The float materials are a wide variety of seeds, dry materials, between orange lentils on the dancers all the way through the batting and Hawaiian weave.
Our float it's from the Chipotle restaurants. It's decorated with only the 51 ingredients that they use in their restaurants. Other than the roses, we use everything from chili powder to cumin to onions and cilantro, so you're really hungry when you pass by the float. Our tractor is made of chili powder and chili flakes, so we grind it up. And the black that you see on the tires is onion seed. We also have pepper. Then our tractor itself is pulling a cart, and that cart has a band on it, Portugal the Man.
Our float is Far Out Frequencies. It's about how music brings us together, even people from like different planets. You'll see Morgan and his little friend here, and they're rocking out on the guitars. And then you'll see our proteas and like our beautiful deck with irises and roses. Up top, you'll see two little aliens hanging, playing with an accordion, and another astronaut up top with a baby alien on his shoulder, and Tuba Head all the way in the back with his head stuck in a tuba.
Equestrian units have been part of the parade experience since the beginning. Mounted on majestic breeds, riders showed off their skills on horseback, as well as demonstrate the high level of discipline each steed requires in order to maintain tight formations.
While making the rounds at one of the float decorating places, Eagle News ran into the 2019 Rose Parade Royal Court. Can you explain how crazy your life has become, how it's changed?
We have had the busiest schedule these last 3 months, and our lives have been turned upside down. Just yesterday, we had, I think, a 15-hour day, and the day before that, we had 7 events. But overall, we are having a blast.
Now media is like trying to grab you whenever they can and just have a few minutes of your time.
I think it's definitely very important, and it's very special to us because it gives us the opportunity to be able to speak about what we're passionate about and what we do, and spread the ideas and values that we all hold and share together as a court.
Now, friends, family, how have things changed for them?
We really can't do without our friends and family, and so our parents have supported us, whether it's grabbing our jacket when we forget it, when we leave the house, or it's reminding us of an event tomorrow or waking us up. They've really been our support system throughout this entire process and really are the reason that we can do this.
Has anyone actually been on a float before? Anyone afraid of heights?
No.
What are you anticipating?
So we've actually had one float test where we had to practice a fire drill, and we actually got off in 5 seconds, which is a record, I believe. But being on the float, something that all the past courts talk about is being in passing TV corner, where all the media is stationed, all of our friends and family are stationed, and that will be something that we're all really looking forward to, and just being down the parade float and being part of history. I think that's what makes it so special.
What does it mean to you to be able to represent the city of Pasadena?
So the Tournament of Roses is such an amazing organization. They help so many people, and they're really, really amazing, a volunteer force. So we are so blessed to be able to be representatives for them and for the city of Pasadena, which has done so much for us.
For over a century, bands from all over the world have made the 5.5-mile march in the Rose Parade.
We had the privilege of speaking to not one, but 6 band directors who've pooled the collective talents of high schoolers from the Shimane Prefecture in Japan. What is one of the most rewarding things about teaching young people?
子どもたちが一日一日すごく成長してくれるところが、そういうのを見れるところが嬉しいです。
He likes seeing the growth that the students show every single day.
Why is it important that these young people are part of a marching band?
出雲という地域がとても音楽が盛んです。小学生ぐらいから吹奏楽をしている生徒もすごく多いです。マーチングバンドも多いので、憧れやすいかなと思います。
So in Izumo, music is very important and common. The people and students, they start at a really young age, even elementary school, and they join band there.
Who did the Village People YMCA direction?
最初の安来節は郷土の歌です。最後の YMCA はアメリカのテレビ番組を見てそれを真似して作りました。
So in the very beginning, there was a Yasuki Bushi, which is a dance from Izumo, and then they ended it with the YMCA, which they got inspired from an American TV show.
So let's talk about now the actual Rose Parade. What can we look forward to seeing?
沿道の皆様の笑顔を期待しております。生徒のいわゆるアピール、表現を期待してください。
So he says for America to be ready for Izumo's expressions and their enthusiasm, and he's excited to see the audiences, their reactions and their enthusiasm.
そうですね。それはやっぱり世界の音楽のパレードがですね、経験できるというのは一生に一度かぐらいしかないと思いますので、もうここへ参加するということは本当憧れだと思いますので、そういう意味で本当にここはやっぱり参加したいパレードです。
This is an international music parade, and it's a one-in-a-lifetime experience. So he's just glad that he's here, and he wants everyone to experience that experience of coming to America and showing the world what beautiful music is.
Speaking of beautiful music, the theme of this year's parade is the melody of life. And as we know, music can certainly move and inspire people.
Reflecting on this premise, we asked some of our friends what they'd like everyone to be inspired to do in 2019.
Get involved in your community, volunteer some time, do something positive for the people around you.
Oh, be inspired to dance. We get to, interact with each other and listen to music together.
I'd say go out and learn an instrument.
So the court this year has really spread a message of inclusivity. We hope that people will, in the new year, connect with other people that they're close with and support their family and friends, but also will be open to connecting with people that are very unlike themselves.
For a sometimes flawed world, those sentiments are absolutely perfect. Well, that'll do it for our coverage of the Tournament of Roses Parade presented by Honda.
To all our viewers around the globe, Here's hoping that this new year is the best one yet. Reporting from Pasadena, California for Eagle News, this is Eva and Allen, and we are 1 with 25.
Simple indeed. From California, let's head over to Florida and discover Tampa's new foodie hangout. Abby Aragon with the details.
A place to relax, a place to eat, and a place to city gaze. Opened in February of 2018, Armature Works became Tampa's newest hangout spot. This place was formerly a storage and maintenance facility for Tampa Electric streetcars, but has been repurposed as a mixed-use building. Today, it's home to eateries and a small boutique and offers a great view of the Hillsborough River. They offer many different types of food, like sushi, burgers, and ice cream, with tons of dining space to eat, even outside in the courtyard or on the lawn, both great for the Florida weather. It even has a cool hand wash station and offers free sparkling and still water, which many places don't. I went ahead and got a Cuban sandwich from Hemingway's. The verdict? Award-winning. I also got some big cookies from the awesome bakery of Inside the Box. What makes this place unique is the atmosphere. The lawn area provides lots of seating to relax and talk to friends. From there, you can enjoy the great view of the Hillsborough River and downtown Tampa. Armature Works buzzes with life and excitement and is definitely a big hit with locals and visitors.
It's a place that people like to take visitors from out of town just to show them like a good time. And if you're in a large group where people have different tastes, preferences, it's just a place where everyone can find something to eat. It just makes the neighborhood more attractive to people like me to have, restaurants and places to go.
It's great for Tampa. Brings people out, creating good memories and moments with my friends. Downtown Tampa now is like the place to be.
So if you're a foodie here in Tampa, make sure to check out Armature Works. I'm Abby Aragon, EBC Florida correspondent, and I'm 1 with 25.
Thanks, Abby. 40 is the new 20. This holds true for boxing icon Manny Pacquiao, who, a couple of days ago, defended his welterweight title against the much younger Adrian Broner. RJ Rodriguez reports.
RJ Rodriguez here at the MGM Grand in Las Vegas, Nevada, kicking off 2019 at one of the biggest fights in the sport of boxing, as Manny Pacquiao attempts to defend his WBA welterweight world title against Adrian Broner. The match commenced as both contenders exchanged blows. Broner held up well, but was overwhelmed by the faster, more experienced Pacquiao by the 6th round. At the end of the 12th round, Pacquiao was voted unanimously as the winner of the match. This is RJ Rodriguez with Eagle News Broadcasting, and I am 1 with 25.
Thanks, RJ, and congratulations, Manny. Well, that is today's Eagle News Washington, D.C. Weekend Edition. Join us next week for stories that matter to you. Visit our websites at Eaglenews.PH and EagleNewsLive.com. Like us on Facebook, follow us on Twitter at twitter.com/EagleNewsPH. Thank you for watching. I'm Alan Basoyahe. I am 1 with 25.